All right, today I'm going to be making ramen noodles, crab meat, grilled cheese sandwich. First thing that you're gonna need is ramen noodles, you're gonna need cheese, you're gonna need butter, green onion, crab meat, some bread, and some Frank's red hot sauce, or whatever kind of hot sauce you like to use. Absolute goodness. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, first I'm gonna cook the ramen noodles, and right here I have the ramen noodle cooker. All right, and so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take the ramen noodle cooker, and I'm going to put the ramen noodles in here, and I'm gonna cook them for 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Absolute goodness. So I'm gonna put the ramen noodles in here, and then I'm gonna put the crunchies on top right there. Add the crunchies, wanna make the most of it. We're in a pandemic right now, don't wanna waste any food. And then I'm gonna take the beef flavor. And I know a lot of you are like, why are you putting the beef flavor in it first? Well, this is my recipe, absolute goodness. All right, and so I'm gonna take the beef flavor, I'm gonna pour the beef flavor inside of the rapid ramen cooker. Absolute goodness. So once I have it in there, I'm gonna take the water and I'm just gonna pour the water on top just to get the flavor dissolved in here. You could add the flavoring underneath it. I'm just gonna fill it up to the line, and I'm gonna cook it for 3 minutes and 42 seconds. All right, once the ramen noodles are done, as you can see, they're done right here, cooked al dente. You're gonna want to drain the water that's in here. So I'm gonna drain the water because you don't want the noodle to be wet. All right, so you're going to drain the ramen noodles. All right, drain them, and you drain most of them. There might be a couple of drops left in here, but the ramen noodles will absorb the water. Absolute goodness. All right, so let this, and you might want to let it cool slightly. All right, if it cools longer, it waits and cools, the better it will be for the sandwich. Less likely you'll have a soggy sandwich. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the bread. I'm gonna take 2 pieces of bread. All right, and so what I'm gonna do is with the bread, I'm gonna take a slice of cheese. All right, and put the slice of cheese on the bread. And after I do that, I'm gonna cut up some green onion. Cut it in small pieces. Place some green onion. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. Some green onion on top of the cheese. Maybe I'll add a couple more pieces of green onion. Couple of slices, couple pieces of green onion. Then I'm going to open up the can of crab meat. Go ahead and get the crab meat. Open up the can. All right, so I have the crab meat in here. It's at the top to the side. And then I'm going to want to strain some of the crab meat out of here. You can do this with a fork, or you can do it with an actual strainer. Take the crab meat. Get some crab meat, put it on right here, and strain as much of the moisturization out of what you're gonna put on the sandwich. Absolute goodness. All right, so strain as much as you possibly can. If you want to, you can get a paper towel, because you want this to be as dry as possible. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a paper towel, and I'm gonna try to drain as much out of here, the moisturization out of the crab meat as possible. Absolute goodness. All right, so once I drain as much as this, I actually do a little bit more. Much of the moisturization out of the crab meat. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna place the crab meat on top of here, right here. All right, so I'm gonna take the crab meat and I'm gonna place it on top. All right, just even it out a little bit. Absolute goodness. Even out the crab meat. Want to get it centered around the cheese so it can stick to the cheese. Smelling good, smelling great. This almost reminds me of my steak ramen noodle grilled cheese sandwich. Absolute goodness. All right, so I have the crab meat on there. Then I'm going to take the ramen noodles, all right? I'm gonna place some ramen noodles, but I use my method right here, the spaghetti method for getting the ramen noodles. A heaping of ramen noodles. Get it like that. Get a heaping, like, so it's almost like a ball. All right? And then place it on top of the crab meat. All right, now if you have too much ramen noodles, the sandwich won't shut. And I think I may be in that situation, but I'm gonna go forward with it anyway. Absolute goodness. All right, so once I have the ramen noodles on the sandwich, I'm gonna take the other piece of bread, and I'm gonna take a piece of cheese, and I'm gonna put the cheese on top of this part. Just like that. Absolute goodness. Then I'm gonna take the bread, and then take the bread and put it on top. And I'm gonna smash it down. Make sure the ramen noodles is still within the borders of the bread. If you need to, you're gonna have to tuck it in. Absolute goodness. All right, so I smashed it down. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butter, and I'm going to cut a couple of slices of butter, and this is what I'm going to add to the pan. All right, so let's get started with cooking the sandwich. All right, so I'm heating up the pan. It's getting hot. I have it on a medium heat right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it at a medium to a medium low because I don't want the sandwich to cook too fast without actually melting the cheese inside and toasterating the bread. Absolute goodness. All right, so I have the butter in here, and you see what I just did? I just moved it all around. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the sandwich, I'm gonna take the butter, and I'm just gonna spin it around just like this. And doing this gets the bread fully soaked, merged in butter. Absolute goodness. Now I'm just gonna let this cook for a little bit and let this toasterate on the side. And then I'm gonna flip this and add some more butter. Absolute goodness. All right, it's cooking. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take another piece of butter and put this on here and go ahead and flip the sandwich because I feel like it's toasted on the other side. Put the butter in here, then flip the sandwich. Look at that, golden brown. I'm gonna take the bread and just soak it around. Let it soak up the butter. Absolute goodness. I'm gonna zoom in on here so you can see this. Look at the toasteration right here. Absolute goodness. Just gonna get finished, let this toast, and I turn it down low. I was cooking a little bit too high. Let the butter soak up. Let this cook and let the cheese melt. Absolute goodness. All right, after this has been cooking a little bit, should be toasted. I have it on low. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on a plate. Check it, see if how done it is. Take it from the plate. I'm gonna cut this open so we all can see the cheese in here. Absolute goodness. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this open so we can see what we're working with. I'm just gonna take a knife. Just hear the crunchiness. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh wow, look at the crab meat. Look at the cheese. Look at the ramen noodles. Look at the green onion. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness.